Or rather good afternoon. We are back for another week of online classes. So good to have all of you all back. I hope you had a relaxing Sunday. We are almost through it. 30th could be our last date, or even if the government has extended the lockdown to 7, maybe we could have another week of online classes. So we will continue with our revision and you all will be ready. So the good news was that all of you all are getting promoted. That's what came during the weekend. But automatic promotion doesn't mean that there won't be exams. There will be exams sometimes after we open. So be ready and then relax and enjoy your summer holidays. So we are on page 119. We are still in unit 2, Banaras by Aldous Huxley. We are revising bit by bit all the exercises at the back, and today we will be doing the reading passage. The reading passage is very important. Like I told you with unit 2, we were very careful in selecting something from Telangana history, culture, architecture, places of tourism, so that the students are aware of Telangana because it is a new state. You remember June 2nd, 2014. So we are a very, very new state, and all of us must be aware of the struggles with which we got our separate state. So we are showcasing, the reading passages were designed to showcase the culture, the literature, the architecture and the history of Telangana. So now the second part of this reading of Telangana is Burrakatha, an oral narrative performance. So there are oral narrative performances across the country. Even our Ramayana and our Mahabharata, before it was penned down, or even after it was penned down, it used to be in the oral tradition for a long time because it's easy to memorize and to report, to recite, and a lot of people used to be illiterate, so they cannot read. So the best way was to have the oral tradition. So you memorize and you repeat. So the Burrakatha is the oral tradition of Telangana. I'm going to read the passage slowly. Please read along with me, page 119. Or you could slow, if you could mute yourself and then read it aloud with me, okay? Because it is for pronunciation, it is for your practice of your punctuation. So let's do it together. Burrakatha is an art form in which stories are told by performers on a stage. It is the part of the Katha tradition. Katha refers to the story that an artist narrates and is so named because of the use of a burra, which is a short for tambura, a stringed instrument shaped like a skull, which is made out of baked clay, copper or dried pumpkin. So the tambura is used by the artist and the story is told, okay? A folklore or whatever is told, and they use the tambura, I think you know that stringed instrument, okay? That's also traditional to Telangana, and that's why it's called Burrakatha, okay? Tambura is used and the story is told. This art form is found in the villages of Telangana as well as Rayalaseema and other areas of the former state of Andhra Pradesh. Its name varies from region to region. So you remember we were united Andhra Pradesh, and so usually these artists migrate from one village to another with their folk. So there are no boundaries for art. So it is possible that these artists moved from a village in Telangana to Rayalaseema to, they could be moving around. So every region has got this art form. All over India also there is this oral tradition, and in Telangana it is called Burrakatha. In Telangana it can be called Tambura Katha or Sarada Katha, since many Telangana artists consider their stringed instrument to be the manifestation of Sharada, the goddess of learning. Okay, so these are the other names of Burrakatha. In the coastal areas of Andhra Pradesh, it is called Jangama Katha in Rayalaseema, and is called Tandana Katha or Sudulu in other places. Okay, so excuse my pronunciation of Telugu words. Okay, remember that I'm a Malayali, so it could be difficult for me to pronounce some of these words. Burakatha began in the form of songs sung by tribal people. Nomadic folklore or Kulla Puranam suggests the ancestors of one such tribe were cursed by the goddess Parvati to live a difficult life, constantly moving from place to place like nomads. Nomads is when they move from one place to place. Since then, this tribe has been known as the Jangam, nomadic tribe. In the 12th century, they were greatly influenced by the saint called Basava of Karnataka, and eventually they adopted Veerashaivism as their religion. Because they often relied on the charity of others for their livelihood, they created Burakatha as a means by which they could earn their living, retelling the stories of Lord Shiva. So do you see the history behind this? Okay, so they are Shaivites. They tell the story. The Burakathas narrate the stories of Lord Shiva. A performance consists of a story told by a team of 2 or 3 people who are often from the same family. So it is a family tradition. The main storyteller of the performance is known as the Kathakudu, and that person narrates the story to the accompaniment of the music produced by the tambura. Additionally, the Kathakadu wears anklets, andelu and metal rings on their fingers to produce music as they dance. So there are finger rings and there are anklets and then the tambura, and then he moves around and there is music as he narrates the story. Okay. Additionally, the Kathakadu wears, the other performers assist in the telling of the story, playing small drums called gummeta or gudgi, and playing the role of either humorists, hasyakas, or political commentators, rajakyas. Okay, so the others, we said there are 3 of them along, right? So the others would play small drums, and they would tell some jokes to engage the audience, or they will make some political satire about what is happening in the area, so that there is news, there is humor, there is story, everything, because this was the form of entertainment in the ancient time. Like how when you it's like our TV, you have the news, you have serials, you have music, everything, so this Burakatha had little bit of humor, little bit of politics, little bit of what is happening in the society, and then the folklore was also told. And here you must remember about stories about Lord Shiva, because there is that Shaivite connection. Burakatha, at times they might interrupt the story to crack a joke or ask a question, to which the Kathakadu would respond. So it's not a monologue, it's a dialogue, okay? And the audience would interrupt, ask a question, then the Kathakadu, the main performer, would answer, he would crack a joke, he would throw a question to the audience. So it was like a community thing where the entire village took part in it. Burakatha is mostly performed during Dashara and Shankranti, with performance taking place in the evening. So all the work done, the villagers, the farmers, everybody, they maybe have an early dinner and then gather in an open place, and then this would start. This was the form of entertainment. They began with devotional songs before the Kathakadu introduced the story. So it always in India, everything has a religious angle. So devotional songs, some songs praising God, and then the performance would start. The Hasityas and the Rajakyas help in emphasizing the main points of the story to the audience, so that they do not lose track of the narratives. The stories performed tend to be based on history or mythology, and particularly the great epics of Ramayana and Mahabharata. Okay, so this is Burakatha. So this is a performance done in the villages by the nomadic tribes. You must know, because this is part of Telangana culture. Okay, this is the great oral tradition that has been kept alive for centuries. And if we have our Ramayana and our Mahabharata and all those great texts, it is because of these tribes that kept the oral tradition alive. And then it was penned down, and then the literate people could read. And even today in India, across India, pan-India, many of these oral performers who are keeping our culture, our tradition alive. So please read it carefully. There were a lot of Telugu words maybe which I mispronounced. Please excuse me for that. You all read it, you all know Telugu, so you will be able to do it better. So we will move on to the next unit of the revision, which is writing informal letters.